Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1649B, and today's date is August 27th, 2018, and the title of the episode is "That Trap is Set. Now Comes the Foreshadowing. Think Mirror." Now, before I get started, I wanted to talk about privacy and how the NSA, CIA corporations, they've infiltrated our devices and they're tracking and spying on us 24/7. We see that Apple, they have transferred Chinese users to a state-controlled data center. This should raise concerns about privacy. Google is being sued over misleading users about their location tracking devices, where even if it's off, they are still tracking you. We know that WikiLeaks, they dumped the documentation for Vault 7, and we know that the CIA has created backdoors where they can take control of your camera, your microphone, and your entire system. Now, no one's going to come out and help you become private. You have to do it yourself. It's up to each and every one of us. And we can do this by using something called a virtual private network. I use Virtual Shield. It allows you to transport yourself somewhere else in the world, and the trackers will not know your true location. Virtual Shield by far is one of the best service in the world, and with their no-log policy, it allows you complete anonymity. Let me show you how the VPN allows you to transport yourself to someplace else. So here I am on Google, and I'm just going to type in what is my IP address. And as you can see, I blurred out some of my IP address so you don't know where I am. Now all I'm going to do is go to the VPN Virtual Shield, connect it, and go back to Google, and I'm going to type in what is my IP address once again. And it will show you that my IP address has just changed. It just transported me to someplace else, and they think I'm in a different location. Now, this month, Virtual Shield will be giving away 1 year free subscription to their flagship product, IdentiSafe, for customers who choose to purchase an annual membership to their VPN. What is IdentiSafe? It allows you to take back control by shutting down access to your microphone, your camera on your Windows computer. So check out the link below that will bring you over to Virtual Shield, because remember, we all have the right to remain private. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, remember, the whole strategy of the Patriots, of Trump, is to make the deep state think they have the upper hand, to make them think that Sessions is weak, Trump is weak, Trump is struggling right now, Sessions will not do what he's supposed to be doing, and the deep state right now, the mainstream media, even the central bank, they think they have the upper hand. And they feel empowered right now. They're becoming arrogant. And we're starting to see that a lot that was said a couple days ago is starting to fall apart now. I mean, look at what is happening with Cohen. I mean, when that news first broke, everyone thought, oh, Trump is done for. His personal attorney is going to be going after him. He has all this information, and Trump is going down. And now, coming out of the Washington Post, attorney for Michael Cohen backs away from confidence that Cohen has information about Trump's knowledge on Russian efforts. Lanny Davis, a spokesman and attorney for Cohen, said in an interview this weekend that he is no longer certain about claims he made to reporters on background and on the record in recent weeks about what Cohen knows about Trump's awareness of the Russian efforts, because there was no news there ever. It was completely made up. Now, Trump is under fire because they're saying that he's disrespecting McCain. Now, we all know the story about McCain. We know that he's not a hero. We know what he's been doing with ISIS, with the rebels. We know everything pretty much about him. I'm sure there's a lot more that we'll find out. But look what the deep state is doing right now. The U.S. president, he is facing massive fury over his failure to issue an official White House statement praising the deeds of John McCain. And they're all coming out saying that he needs to recognize that McCain is an American hero, and he needs to tweet this out. Now, Trump never did tweet this out, but we have Rick Wilson out there, and he's saying that the Trump right is mocking and trolling McCain's death. Smite them if you wish, but know one thing with perfect clarity. History will record John McCain as a hero, a legend, and a man in full. At Real Donald Trump will go down as a coward, cheat, weakling, failure, and traitor. The New York Times. President Trump didn't make even the most cursory public show of respect for John McCain, against whom he had continued a personal grievance, even as it was apparent that the senator was losing his battle with brain cancer. Rob Reiner, once again by rejecting a White House statement mourning the loss of true American patriot John McCain, Donald Trump continues to wear the mantle of despicable human being and the most morally bankrupt person ever to occupy the Oval Office. Brit Hume, still not a kind word about McCain himself. And if we read Trump's tweet, "My deepest sympathies and respect go to the family of Senator John McCain. Our hearts and prayers are with you." He doesn't mention McCain as a war hero, doesn't mention McCain at all of all the deeds that he has accomplished. Because if we go back to 2013, which we read the tweet yesterday about McCain, Trump back then was already calling out McCain. Why is McCain meeting with rebels? Why is McCain meeting with ISIS? Why is McCain doing all these things? So Trump knows full well what McCain is all about. And he knows eventually what's going to happen is the news is going to come out about him. And America is going to wake up. So what he's doing right now, he's allowing all these individuals to continually put this out there and make it look like he's weak, make it look like he's not a nice guy. This is all being done on purpose to make him seem very weak. Now, we see that the White House, the flag on top of the White House, returned to full staff after McCain's death. And what is happening here is the mainstream media is out there and they're saying this is ridiculous because the flag was put up to full staff less than 2 days after the death of John McCain. And other flags at federal sites across Washington remained at half-staff in a period of mourning, which is confusing the issue. Now, the practices and protocols governing the U.S. flag code are complicated. Official U.S. code dictates that after the death of a member of Congress, the flag must be flown at half-staff on the day of death and the day after. This procedure was followed by the White House staff, who lowered their flag on Saturday after the news of McCain's death and kept it lowered until Sunday. And the mainstream media, the people on Twitter, the deep state, they're all out there screaming and yelling. So Trump reverses his decision and orders the flag at half-staff for McCain after this backlash. And people are sitting there going, oh my God, look what he just did. He just buckled under the pressure of the mainstream media and everyone else. It makes him appear very weak. That's the whole purpose. Continually make it seem like he's weak. He can't defend himself. He has nothing. Remember the art of war. Appear weak when you are strong. And it also works the opposite way. Appear strong when you're weak. Think about that for a second. And remember, Q has been telling us that they have everything. They know everything. Now, what's very interesting is that the GOP Arizona governor may appoint Cindy McCain to be her husband's Senate successor. Now, the governor does have the right to do this, to appoint who he feels or she feels is good for this position. And they can pick anyone, actually, until elections come up. And it's just very interesting that they're going to put McCain's wife in this position. Now, was this done on purpose? Was this part of the deal with McCain? Because think about it. Q told us down to the minute the time McCain was going to die. I mean, really, how would you know this? So was this the deal to have his wife go in there and follow the orders of the Patriots to do what they wanted her to do until election time? Maybe, maybe not. Trump is also out there tweeting over 90% approval rating for your all-time favorite, I hope, president within the Republican Party and 52% overall. This despite all the made-up stories by the fake news media trying to endlessly to make me look as bad and evil as possible. Look at the real villains, please. Now remember, mirror this. Make me look bad and evil. The others are bad and evil. Look at the real villains. Not him, but the other people. So he's putting it out there saying, yes, look at the other people. Remember, he continually drops breadcrumbs. Now, the deep state, they are trying to impeach him. And they move the impeachment up to the next level. And they're saying, let's annul him. Now, this is kind of ridiculous at this point, but this is what they're trying to do. And they're saying, and there's articles out there and other people talking about this, is that the only way to end Trump is to have his presidency annulled. Many people are convinced we're already witnessing the beginning of the end of Trump. This is what they're saying. Remember, they're feeling strong right now. In their view, bombshell admissions from Trump insiders with immunity from prosecution, combined with whatever evidence Robert Mueller uncovers about Trump's obstruction of justice and its aide's collusion with Russians, will all tip the scales. They're already putting it out there that they are strong. Appear strong when you are weak. They have no evidence. They have nothing they can back any of this up with. All these people that have immunity from prosecution, they don't even know if they have any information. Cohen had no information. It was all made up. So think about presidents being annulled. Think about birth certificate. Think mirror. Think about this. If past presidents are annulled, what happens to the laws they passed? What happens to the executive orders they signed? What happens to everything they've done if you annul their presidency? Remember, mirror everything. So very soon, it's going to be showtime. And right now, they are foreshadowing everything that is going to happen. For the past several weeks, Trump has been calling out Jeff Sessions on his Twitter account. Here are some examples. August 20th. Will Bruce Orr, whose family received big money for helping to create the phony, dirty, discredited dossier, ever be fired from the Jeff Sessions Justice Department? A total joke. August 24th, 2018. Department of Justice will not be improperly influenced by political considerations. Jeff, this is great, and what everyone wants, so look into all the corruption on the other side, including deleted emails, Comey lies and leaks, Mueller conflicts, McCabe struck Page, Orr. Now think about these first two tweets here. He's calling out Bruce Orr, receiving big money to create the phony, dirty, discredited dossier. The second one, telling Jeff that you need to look into the deleted emails for Clinton, Comey, look into the lies and the leaks, look into the Mueller conflicts, look into McCabe. Trump is foreshadowing everything that's going to happen. So here's a continuation of that last tweet. FISA abuse, Christopher Steele and his phony and corrupt dossier, the Clinton Foundation, illegal surveillance of Trump campaign, Russian collusion by Dems, and so much more. Open up the papers and documents without redaction. He just put it out there. Come on, Jeff. You can do it. The country is waiting. They are building this up big time. They are laying all the breadcrumbs. They are foreshadowing of what is to come. So Trump is asking Sessions to investigate 12 cases of potential corruption. And he has to do this. He has to get everyone used to this. And remember what I said before. He continually tweets out there because he knows the corporate media is going to pick these tweets up and make fun of it and then talk about it. How this is ridiculous, how he's crazy. But that is sinking into people's heads. And this is exactly what he wants. We see right now that the social media censorship is here and out in the open. And it has become clear that the major tech companies are working together to shut down and silence members of the free press for political reasons. Now, censorship is not the American way. And while people today may think that the other side is dead wrong and shouldn't be allowed to speak up, it takes a special kind of influence to achieve the level of social media and platform banning that we've seen in recent weeks. It turns out, according to a leaked 49-page document, that this special influence may be none other than George Soros himself. The full confidential memo, which reads like a subversive political manifesto, was written by David Brock, also the founder of Media Matters. And this is Media Matters for America. It's entitled Democracy Matters, Strategic Plan for Action, and composed in early 2017. It lays out the plan to oppose Trump, to shut down different free press or different media people that are completely opposite of their narrative. And right now, what we're seeing is complete and open censorship. And again, if open censorship of America's independent media is allowed to take root, everyone will suffer in the long run. While politics may seem like the biggest game in town, above this spectacle are the values and traditions that have made this country worth living in. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make everyone feel that censorship is good. Yes, if you don't like what they're saying, block them. If they sound nasty or they use hate speech, block them. But you have to go back to the Bill of Rights. And what does the First Amendment say? Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So what they're doing right now is they're saying, well, social media, that is not the government. That is a private corporation. But Trump, when he was banning people on Twitter, he had a court rule that this is an open public forum, and he's not allowed to do that. This was done on purpose because they're going to use this later on censorship. And what has Trump has been doing lately? Calling out all these different social media platforms, saying that censorship is not good. And remember, they're talking about the Internet Bill of Rights, and they're going to use that court case to show that you can't censor because these are public forums. And a lot of these companies do take funds, grants from the government. We know from the CIA and many others. So a lot of them are government sponsored. So put that into the mix. We see that Assad is meeting with Iranian defense minister in Damascus. They're going to be talking about what is happening in Syria, talking about terrorism and Iran's role in aiding the government. We see that Iran, Russia, Turkey, they're going to have a summit on Syria on September 7th in Iran. So it looks like we're moving towards that period of time where they might be making that announcement where Iran is going to be removing the forces because there's no need for it. But before that happens, what has to happen here? Well, they need to get rid of the deep state, the paid mercenary army. Now, Syria is preparing for a major offensive in Idlib. Russia is warning of a false flag chemical attack in Idlib. Coincidence? No. This is being done on purpose. They are going to use this false flag to fire, most likely, missiles into Syria to remove the infrastructure of the paid mercenary army, weapons of the paid mercenary army, and the deep state. Once this happens, Syria and Russia will move into Idlib easily. Look what happened back the last time, or the last two times, the missiles were fired. Nothing happened to the airport, nothing happened to the Syrian forces, nothing happened to the Russian forces, and the missiles hit their target. Not the target that the corporate media thinks they're supposed to hit, the target that hit the paid mercenaries, the bases, the weapons, the chemical factories. That's what's going to happen right now. There are already ships in place for all of this. So in the next couple of days, most likely we will see this happen. We will see a false flag. And most likely Trump might come out and say, listen, Assad has crossed the red line. We're going to be firing missiles into Syria. Now, why does he say Assad? Remember, he's using the strategy of the deep state because the mainstream media, they will report on this. They will say, oh, look, he's doing a good job. We're getting Assad. When the opposite is actually happening. Once this is done, because this is the last area where the paid mercenary armed forces are, the deep state are. Once this happens, guess what? There's no reason at all to keep the U.S. troops there, the coalition forces troops there. And we can see already with the meetings with Iran, with Russia, Turkey, and Iran, they're going to say Iran has now moved out of Syria and the rest of the coalition forces must be moved out. Because if you notice, all they're saying is if Iran removes itself from Syria, the U.S. and the coalition forces will remove the troops from Syria. They're using this as a cover story. And they're trying to make it look like that mission accomplished and we're going to be moving all the troops out. And of course, we can see that this is all taking place right now, the same time that they're going to declassify all the information. So everything that we're watching right now is happening at the same time. Now think about it. North Korea right now, that meeting with Pompeo has been called off, makes the president look weak. Assad's going to use chemical weapons. It's going to make the president look weak. Trump can't get along with Sessions. Sessions is not doing what he wants, makes him look weak. The flag on the White House was brought down half staff. Now it's going to be brought back up to full staff, makes the president look weak. This is all being done on purpose. At the same time, Trump is continually tweeting out there and foreshadowing what is coming. And that is the investigation. That is the declassification. That is all these people going to prison. Q has told us in post-1932 that hands up 30, which I think it's going to be either 30 days or 30 people going to prison, maybe even more than that. But we can see at this point, all of this is being prepped for a specific event. And that is the event to get the deep state. Right now, they are trapped and they don't even know it. And the mainstream media is going to be blindsided. And once this happens, it's completely game over. And we're going to have to see how America takes it. Because again, they're not going to be prepared for this. They're going to reject it. We know from Q that this is going to happen. So we can see that this is all coming in the next few days or maybe a week or two, but it's coming very soon. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.